Good morning, everyone. It is great to see you all. Welcome to our Sunday Soul Celebration. Welcome to Unity of Phoenix. My name is Richard Maraj, Senior Minister here, and it's great to see you. Great to be with you all.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Just invite you to think about those words for a few moments. And particularly today as we celebrate the creation and the building of our new building. And as we celebrate the ministry and its contributions to this greater Phoenix community, to all the people whose lives have been blessed in the past and all who will be blessed in the future. So let us start out with some moments of gratitude, being grateful for the Spirit of God that underlies this entire universe. Because we know with God all things are possible. We know that holds true not just for this ministry and for our world, but it holds true in our individual lives as well. So for the next few moments, as we spend some time in the silence, I invite you to reflect on the value of gratitude in your life. So just take a few moments to get comfortable in your seat. And take a deep, refreshing breath. Give yourself permission to be still, to be quiet, to be meditative, and to be appreciative. So one more deep breath. We give thanks for all the blessings in our lives and in the world. And we give thanks in the name and through the nature of the living Christ, within all, above all, and through all. And so it is. And amen.
Morning again, everyone. And a shout out to everybody who tunes in and watches us online. So how many people here have ever had a time in your life where you struggled and struggled with one thing after another and so long that you felt that you lost your joy? Anybody ever feel like you lost your joy? Or how many people ever been so busy, so maxed, so stressed out that it felt like you weren't having any fun at all? Anybody? Or how many people, your life was going well, nothing really seemed to be wrong, and yet you still didn't feel as happy or fulfilled as you wanted to feel? Anybody have that experience? You know, Barbara Bush, a few years back, gave a commencement speech at Smith College, where she graduated from, and her theme was, life is supposed to be fun. How many people believe that life is supposed to be fun? Absolutely. And if you look at the messages in Scripture, it tells us that truth. You know, Jesus said he came that his joy may be in us and that our joy may be complete. He said he came that we may have life and have it more abundantly. And he also said it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. And that sounds like a life that is happy, a life that is fulfilling, a life that is joyful, and a life that is meaningful. And the question is, then why do we not feel joy or have fun or feel as fulfilled and happy in our lives? And I think that Jesus in the Bible expresses three important things that we sometimes, I don't think, understand or are fully aware of or utilize. And here are the three things. The first one is, life is tough. Life isn't easy for anyone. He said, in this life, there will be trials and tribulations. You're going to go through some difficulties, some challenges. You know, you're going to experience some conflicts. Things are not always going to go your way. You're experiencing some hurt and failures and disappointments and sometimes some trauma of losses, of abandonment, of all kinds of different things. Sometimes life will knock you on the butt. That's in Scripture, actually. It's a different edition, but it's there. Sometimes it'll bring us to our knees. I mean, life is tough, and every one of us is dealing with some stuff of some kind, whether it's family stuff, or work stuff, or relationship stuff, or emotional stuff, health stuff, you know, legal stuff. You know, there are all kinds of stuff that we're all dealing with, financial stuff. Life is tough, and we all have stuff. Second thing Jesus said that was really clear, and the whole Bible says it, is that you are a powerful and capable spiritual being. We are told that over and over again, that you are created in the image and likeness of God, that you are the temple of the living God, and God dwells in you. And Jesus put it beautifully when he said, you are the light of the world. And this is something I think we have a hard time accepting. Do you realize that you are indeed the light of the world? You are a powerful and amazing spiritual being. I am the light of the world. Let's say that together. I am the light of the world. Take a deep breath into that. Oh, and let that in. Now let's say it half voice together. I am the light of the world. Deep breath. Realize that truth about yourself. Now say it silently in your head to yourself. And deep breath. And one more time. I am the light of the world. Together. I am the light of the world. I am a powerful spiritual being. Together. I am a powerful spiritual being. I am the light of the world. Together. I am the light of the world. Jesus even said, you know how powerful and amazing you are? He said, you shall do the things that I do and even greater things than these. Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's how powerful you are. He said, whatever, decide upon a thing and it will be established for you. Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you received it and it will be yours. That's how powerful you are. You're the light of the world. You're a creator. You're a manifester. You have that power. And the third thing he said is that the reason that you're here is you are here to let your light shine. You are here to bring forth the glory of God. You are here to do your part to bring forth the experience of heaven on earth for everyone by letting your light shine. The light of your love, the light of your beauty, the light of your joy, the light of your creativity, to let all that is in you, it's our work to let it shine and bring it forth. couple of months ago, I walked in the bookstore and I saw a book that had a beautiful title, and it just inspired me and made me smile, and it said, "Don't let anything dull your sparkle." And the fact is, every one of us is here to sparkle. I love that word, sparkle. It's hard not to say sparkle and smile, don't you think so? Sparkle. We're here to sparkle. And a sparkle is an expression of light. It's a twinkly, radiant expression of light that's bright and beautiful and brilliant and radiant. It's glowing, it's shining, it's beautiful, and it's joyful. And every one of us is here to let our light shine, to have our sparkle be as bright and brilliant and beautiful as possible. One of my favorite scriptures in the book of John says this. It says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never overcome the light." There is an eternal light and sparkle and brightness in you that nothing can ever take away. But sometimes we let our light get dull and get dim. By the difficulties and challenges in our lives, sometimes we don't let our light shine as brightly. Sometimes we hide our light. Sometimes we deny our light. Sometimes we limit that light, and it dulls our sparkle. The word dull means to deaden, to be lacking in liveliness, to be dim, tiresome, boring, and tedious. And that's not how we're meant to live. We are here to let our light shine. We are here to sparkle. So I ask you, what are you letting in your life dull your sparkle? What are you allowing in your life to hold you back from letting your light shine as brilliantly, as beautifully, and expressively as you know you are meant to shine? This morning, we're going to look at the things and ways that we can not let anything dull the sparkle and the light that we are here to shine. You know, when we're children, it's amazing. Kids they call them bundles of joy. They're so playful and cute. They're so curious about everything. They think everything's possible. They're open-hearted. They're trusting. You know, when they get hurt, they cry. Then they get over it and go back and play. Someone smacked them, they'll have a little cry, and then they'll forgive them and then move on. It's such a beautiful way to live. You think it's surprising that Jesus said to enter the kingdom of heaven, we must become as a child? And that's how we've all been. That's all in us. The sparkle of a child is in us. But sometimes as we grow, it dulls. We get serious. We get hurt. We get jaded. We can become cynical. We can hold back when we've been hurt, close off our hearts, limit our joy. And what happens is that we end up stuffing the pain in us, and it imprints in us. And it gets so deep in us. Doreen Virtue said that when we experience trauma in life and don't deal with it, it imprints in our minds and body, and then we begin to attract more of that pain. We begin to re-victimize ourselves, getting in the same negative types of situation that leave us feeling abandoned or hurt or wounded or unworthy or struggling with our finances. And she said the trauma turns into drama. And we keep attracting drama of chaos and all sorts. And not always necessarily the Jerry Springer-like drama, but sometimes it's drama of just always struggling with stuff. Having so much chaos, we're so busy, we feel lost and out of control and unsettled. We have patterns of those things that repeat ourselves. Anybody ever said the question, why is this happening to me again? Because we've had some trauma be impressed in us. We become almost addicted and attracted to repeating it, because we aren't really resolving the hurt. We aren't looking at the pain. Not dealing with our hurt and our pain and our woundedness, that's what dulls our sparkle. It's not the pain itself, it's not dealing with it is what the thing that hurts us the most. And so there are a couple of things we need to do. The first one is to acknowledge our hurt, to look at the places in our lives where we feel wounded, where we feel abandoned, where we feel broken or damaged or unworthy, where we feel stuck, where we feel alone or lost. And then the second thing is to make a commitment to do the spiritual work to begin to liberate, to deal, feel, and heal all the wounds and pain that we are going through. And we've been given so many tools, prayer, meditation, forgiveness and journaling and support groups, joining AA. There are all kinds of different ways of doing our spiritual work. And the question is, how committed are you to utilizing these tools? I read that yoga is one of the most powerful practices to help you get over post-traumatic stress. That it done over a consistent time begins to ease and release the things that we have buried and stuffed down in us. You know, meditation. Deepak Chopra was here in November saying that there are all kinds of studies that show that meditation not only brings greater peace, but it brings clarity and more creativity in our lives. You know, it is amazing. They're wonderful gifts. You know, there's a study that says people who attend church on a regular basis, that they tend to be more balanced, they feel more happy, and they feel more grounded in a sense of belonging and connection. We have tools available to us. The question is, how committed are you to your healing journey? How committed are you to going into those dark places and feeling the pain and releasing yourself from them? How committed are you to doing your inner work and going deep to liberate yourself from that? You know, every one of us can pick a plan. So here are the things that I do. I try to meditate for 40 minutes every day, split up. You know, I do journaling 2 or 3 times a week, especially when the gunk starts building up. You know, I just signed up to do a 3-year study program with the Self-Realization Fellowship and the Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda. So I meditate with my prayer partner, and we do like little speaking, sharing, and releasing stuff together about once a week. Once a week, I do meditation by FaceTime with my sister Ariane, and I do some, when I need it, which is often, surrendering and letting go practice. So my question for you is, what are the practices that work for you? That if we really want to heal, is like we need to begin to have a regular, ongoing practice of dealing and releasing, and there are all kinds of tools. Some days you might say, okay, right now, what do I need? And it's like, oh, I need to forgive. Or maybe it's, I need to make peace with my past, or I need to find acceptance of myself. And you know, it's so easy to avoid it, because it's uncomfortable. It's not easy work. We would rather go do the laundry. You know, we would rather go clean out the garage. You know, we would rather do our taxes. And you know how bad something has to be to want to go do your taxes? It's easy to avoid it, but the problem is that what causes us more hurt and pain? You know, every one of us wants our lives to get better without having to do any work, don't we? Especially things that are uncomfortable. But if it were the game of Monopoly, you not doing work would hurt you, and you would end up pulling the card and it would say, go to jail, go directly to jail, do not pass go, do not collect 200. Because if you think that you can be liberated without doing work, you are really just keeping yourself in prison by not facing and dealing with your woundedness and pain. Does that make sense, everybody? How committed am I to my spiritual practice and facing and dealing and healing and releasing my woundedness and my hurts? Second one is to be true to yourself. You know, William Shakespeare, a famous Hamlet line, Polonius speaking to his son Laertes said, "And this above all, to thine own self be true." And I bet every one of us has areas in our lives where we are not always true to ourselves. There's times the people in our own lives, we don't always tell them what we truly feel or what it is we truly want, what it is we truly desire. There are many times we act in ways so that people will like us, to please them and to get their approval, and denying what it is that we really want inside. You know, sometimes we don't honor ourselves. We don't honor our feelings, our desires. We don't honor our bodies. We don't honor our callings. And sometimes we stay in jobs and relationships and situations that really aren't for our highest good, but we just do it because we want to fit in. We want to be liked. We don't speak up for ourselves. We don't always pursue our goals and our dreams, and that dulls our joy. Emerson said, imitation is suicide, because to not live your life and to live anyone else's life kills the spirit, kills our joy, kills our creativity. So my question for you is, where in your life are you not being true to yourself? Where in your life are you not honoring what your soul and your heart and mind knows that you are to do? Where in your life are you using an excuse to tell yourself that it's okay to not be honest and share? My excuse used to be I want to be a nice guy, so I'm not going to tell him because I won't be nice if I shared what I really feel. And the truth is, it wasn't nice. It's unkind to ourselves and others to not share the truth. And it's not to do anything in a mean way. It's just to be honest and sincere. You know, the 2 things we need to do to learn to be true to ourselves, number 1, be honest with ourselves. Admit to ourselves what's going on, what's hurting, what isn't working for ourselves, what we really want. Because when we are other than ourselves, you know what? We don't live life authentically, and we can't really experience true intimacy. One thing I've noticed in myself is that the more honest I've been with myself is the more honest I can be with people, and life tends to be easier. Because the clearer and more honest you aren't using all that extra energy to pretend. You're actually free to be who you are, so you express more joy, to be honest with ourselves. And the second one is to trust ourselves. To trust and know and go and listen. What is it that I want? What is it that my soul is saying that it's mine to do? How many people have a hard time trying? Oh, how about this one? How many people ever second guess yourself? Any ever second guess? So should I have done that? Should I have said that? Should I really do this? Maybe that wasn't a good move. What we need to do is to begin to learn to trust and believe in ourselves. Trust and believe that God has a plan and purpose for our lives, and begin to listen to it. To trust it and make a decision and move forward with it. And knowing whichever way it goes, that was a good decision. And we will learn from doing that, and it will lead us to something greater. The things that dull our sparkle is by not healing and looking after, the hurts and wounds in our lives, and then not being true to ourselves. And the final one is not letting your light shine. Here's what Jesus said in Matthew. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither does someone put a lamp under a bushel basket, but they put it on a lampstand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. So what it's saying is that you are the light of the world, and don't hide your light. Don't hold it back. Don't play small, but let it shine. Put it in a high place where it will be shared and expressed in the most radiant and beautiful way. So my question for you is, in what way are you hiding your light? In what way are you holding back? In what way are you not owning and living your greatness? What dream is it that you're not reaching for and going after? What song is it that you're meant to sing that you are not singing? Where in your life is it time for you to take a chance, to reach out, to go after something? And maybe it's to start a relationship and open your heart in a way you haven't done before. Maybe it's being in a relationship and being willing to invest yourself and heal and deepen the depth of that relationship now. I love the parable of the talents. You know that the master goes away and gives one of his servants 5, another one 3, and another one 1, and he goes away and they come back, and the one who had 5 invested it, doubled, made it 10. He said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done. You've done well with what I've given you. Now you can share in more of your master's joy." The one that had the 3 doubled it to 6, and he said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have done well with what I've given you. Now you can share in more of your master's joy." And the third one said, "Master, here's your 1 back. I got scared. I thought you'd get mad at me, so I buried it." And he took it away, and he ended up saying, "You wicked servant," and he threw him in jail. And there's a couple of important messages there. And that is that whatever we do, we need to fully invest ourselves in. There are 2 things I think this teaches. Number 1 is that take what you have and invest it. Notice the one with 3 didn't say, "Hey, that guy got 5, but he only got 1 and I got 3. All they did was took what they had and they invested it fully and used it without comparing. I was really having a hard time at one point in my life where I just really hated my life and hated myself. I wished my body was different. I wished my personality was different. I wish every part of my life was different. And I heard this quote that someone said, and it was corny, and it got me mad. It said, "Bloom where you're planted." Because I wanted to be planted somewhere else. I wanted my life to be so different. I wanted myself to be different. But over time, I realized that this is the only life that I have. This is the body that I have. This is the family and situation that I have. And I need to invest myself like my 5 or 3 or 1 talents. And the more you fully invest yourself in your life, not comparing it to anyone else's, but appreciating and in being the best you can be, that's when you can share more of your master's joy. You don't get more by wishing you were someone else. You get more by fully investing yourself and being who you are. Brian Offenberger, our incredible worship coordinator, told me a story that one Christmas, he and his wife and his children were in the kitchen making cookies and popcorn balls, and their 3-year-old nephew had come over to visit, and he had run into the house, and they're all cooking the cookies and the popcorn balls, and then he runs into the kitchen, and he says, "I knew it! I knew there'd be something fun going on here. And there is something fun going on here. It's called your life. And are you enjoying it? Are you loving it? Are you investing it? And are you being the best you that you can be? One of the greatest signs of life is that, are you happy and excited about your life? Are you happy and excited to be you? Are you happy and excited to share your gifts and your talents and your ability? This is an important thing for all of us, is to invest yourself and be who you came here to be. And the important thing I love in that scripture, it says, and when you put your light on the lampstand, it gives light to everyone in the house. That you being you and shining your light blesses you, it blesses your family, it blesses your community and your world. You are the light of the world. That light in you is the light of the world. And you owe it to the world. You owe it to God. You owe it to yourself and your family to be the best that you are meant to be, to let your light shine. Let nothing dull your sparkle, and be absolutely true to who you are and who you came to be. Don't let anything dull your sparkle. You know, that reminds me of a joke. That was like the worst transition ever, I do believe. That was right there. You just saw the worst. So why did Beethoven hate all of his chickens? Because all they ever talk about is bark, 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 bark. Wow, that's generosity right there. Living embodiment of generosity. Okay. A blind man walks into a bar and a table and a chair. What do you call a nun who sleepwalks? A Roman Catholic. There's more. You want to hear a joke about a pizza? Nah, it's too cheesy. A dyslexic man walks into a bra. That's going to hit you on the way home, I tell you it is. A friend of mine is addicted to brake fluid, but he says he can stop any time. Okay. 2 drums and a cymbal fall off a cliff. Badoom-ch. Okay, that was not the best finish. But anyway, the reason I tell you those jokes is because to show you, even if no one laughs, don't let it dull your sparkle. That sometimes we will fail. Sometimes we will fall, sometimes we'll miss the mark, but I guarantee you, letting your light shine, taking a chance and going after what you want, being true to yourself, I tell you, will bless you and bless the world and make an absolute difference. It will change and transform your life and the people that you know as well. Life is not easy. There are traumas, there are hurts and pains that we all go through, but I do believe life is supposed to be fun. That we are here to live it abundantly, that we are here to know our complete joy. And the best way to let our light shine, and the best way to do that is to make sure you deal with your stuff. You know, take time to do the spiritual practice, to go into those dark places and liberate yourself from the darkness and the hurt and the pain. Because to not do it will dull your life. Secondly, be true to yourself. Be honest with who you are. And be true to who you are, trust you who you are, and begin to follow what your heart knows that you are here to do. And then finally, let your light shine. Take a chance, reach out, be expressive, be all you came here to be, and let your light shine. And don't let anything dull your sparkle. God bless you all.